Hello everyone, my name is Sridhar Reddy. I'm a senior data engineer based in UK. I have experience working with NHS organizations, including both acute trust and mental health trust, and also integrated care boards. For this FHIR challenge, I've built an AI-assisted interoperable patient management platform, mainly focused on improving the structured healthcare data, which reduces manual clinical and admin review, and also making patient records more terminology ready. The real world problem I'm addressing is that the healthcare teams often have the structured patient data in one place, and unstructured clinical notes or text in another place, and inconsistent conditioning coding across multiple systems. So that creates an administrative burden, weak interoperability, and poor analytics readiness. So this app, so this application helps to convert patient information and free text clinical notes into reviewed, structured, terminology-ready FHIR condition records while keeping clinicians approved and safety gates in the workflow. Coming to the business case, this application is mainly developed for clinicians, care coordinators, healthcare tech builders, and interoperability teams like clinical coders as well. So the value proposition for this application is the standardized structured healthcare data. This has the intelligent workflow support, reduced manual coding efforts, better interoperability, and safer clinical automation as well. So the important safety principle is that the app um, does not automatically write NLP derived conditions or the free text conditions into the FHIR record automatically. It first creates a preview only resources and then requires a review, clinical coding validation, and sign off. And then it goes for the sign off. So now I will now demonstrate a complete workflow where a structured FHIR data and unstructured clinical text can be brought together, reviewed safely, prepared for the prepared for the SNOMED coding, and validation through a terminology service, and only then it is considered for the future FHIR saves. So now let's jump into the patient management. Uh, so here is a list of all the patients that's been pulled from the FHIR R4 backend. Now you can see all the information of the patients, which is name, gender, date of birth, age, and including FHIR ID as well. So you got the ability to search every patient here. For example, if I just search Sridhar, so you got the patient can be searchable, and I'll just take this off, and you can edit the patient details as well. For example, if you just click on this one, you got an option to edit it, and even you can add a new patient as well. So it's basically the CRD operations are the basis of this application. So now if I just open up a particular patient, let's say Jody, and just click on Jody. Here you can see the patient demographics, which is this is mainly a patient detail page which combines the FHIR resources into a clinical workspace. Here we can see all the demographics on top section, which is gender, date of birth, age, and patient ID and FHIR ID as well. So this is a base FHIR value where structured patient data is displayed in a usable clinical interface. So if you look at the second section, we got overview, and where we can see all the active conditions. So this particular patient has 11 active conditions and 3 medications, where you can see at the bottom of the page, and they got 60 vital records, and also we can see all the latest vitals, active conditions in here, and active medications. So basically vitals are retrieved from FHIR observation resources, where you can see, like, if you look at this particular section, we can see so these are all retrieved from FHIR observation resources, which are shown as charts. and also as a table formats as well. If you click on this one, just show the table format. And the vitals includes are like weight, BMI, blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate, height, etc., etc. And so this is a one combined chart. If you look at it, and also if you just click on the table, it just gives you all the vital combined information as well. Right, and next, if you move on to the conditions, conditions are again read from the FHIR condition resources. I also added a SNOMED validation framework where you can see in here like a validate in each section in here, the validate. So in here you can validate each and every condition, or even you can on a bulk basis, you can just, for example, you can just click validate. So you can just click on validate each section. Here you can see the authorization required. There's one caveat I just want to mention in here is, because of the NHS terminology credentials are still pending, validation returns are clear, authentication required state instead of we pretending as a success. So I have applied for the system to system details to get the credentials from the NHS England OntoServer team. So still I'm still waiting for the credentials to come through. But meanwhile, what I've done is just to make sure we are not adding the fake SNOMED, but I'm just using the this particular conditions like for the authorization required. You can just select each and every condition, or validate, or you can just do a bulk validations as well, all we can see all 38 in here. You can do it as a bulk as well. If I just click on all validate all visible conditions, the application validates all the conditions. So if at all we have all the authentications, it would have gone through the terminology server, and then it has been validated. But at the moment, it's just because the still I'm still waiting for the credentials. It's still I've just shown it as a 401 status. Again, I have also added add coded condition in here. If I just click on this one, so the add coded so the add coded condition workflow is a controlled preview workflow, which means like a user can search for a SNOMED concept like in here, and this they can select a concept, for example, like say diabetes, for example. Set the clinical and the verification status. They can preview the FHIR condition in the JSON format and review further mapping options as well, such as the ICD-10 or the local codes. So at this moment, it does not save anything to the FHIR. This is just in the preview at the moment. So you can see, like I've just made a note on here. This workload is preview only. No condition resources will be saved to FHIR. So if I just close this one off, if you just go to the medications again in here, so we can see the medications. Again, medications are also read from FHIR medication recovery resources, giving the reviewer more context before adding or approving any condition. So if I just go back to the patients tab, I just want to show you one more additional bit is the terminology search in here at the top. For example, like if you look on this one, say for example, so this is a terminology search. For example, if you can type say diabetes and then click on search, as I just mentioned, so this is since I'm still waiting for the system to system credentials which are pending from NHS England OntoServer team. The app currently blocks the live SNOMED results. So that means like the key point in here is that the app is already wired for the terminology pattern. That is, the browser calls the proxy calls the OntoServer, and the UI handles the authentication failure safely or successfully at this point, like which is 401 denied. So this is a standalone SNOMED concept search page where you can search all the concepts in here. It routes to the backend API/terminology proxy, so the credentials and the bearer tokens are not exposed in the browser. So once the credentials are configured on the server side, this page can return the live SNOMED concepts without changing the front-end workflow. So if I just go back to on top, I can see, for example, if we just go back to the patient list. So this is a terminal search, and then if you go to the configuration tab or the page, here we can see the configuration details. So the configuration page or this page explains the terminology, integration, design. It shows who is the provider. In this case, it is NHS England terminology or the OntoServer, and the base URL. Right, at the moment it is masked, and it shows the authentication status, which, as I just mentioned, the credentials are pending from the NHS England, and you can see the browser safety, and then you can see the proxy route as well. So this page is particularly useful for the enterprise review because it makes the integration pattern more transparent, and also it shows the application is designed for live terminology, which is like, you can search for, so you can do the SNOMED search configuration. We got it in here. We got a SNOMED validation configuration. We got a mapping configurations as well. So here is the integration checklist that's successfully done on this application, and these are all the pending one, from my side, so this can happen once I receive the credentials from the NHS England team. So so this is the configuration side of the terminology server. Now let's jump back into again, one of the patient. Let's just pick up one patient randomly, say Ezekiel in here. All right, as I just mentioned, so this patient detail page just gives us the demographics and the active conditions and the latest vitals and conditions as well. So now let's jump onto the clinical notes, right? So this is where the main AI assisted workflow starts, right? Here you can see you can able to enter the clinician note. So a clinician or an admin can paste a clinical note in here, or paste, or even type like patient. Let's say patient has diabetes, or they can use the preconditioned notes as well in here. If I just click on, say, diabetes follow-up, this just gives you the pre-conditioned note, or even you can use respiratory review, or it can use the injury review, or you can use social care review. For example, let's just use the diabetes follow-up, which says like the patient attended for diabetes follow-up. Type 2 diabetes remains poorly controlled. Patient also has hypertension. No chest pain reported. Medication review completed. So this is the clinical note that's been made, from the clinical person or from the admin. So now what we can do is, what we have to do, if you look at the bottom of this, the workflow has not started yet. So this is a step-by-step series, where it happens, one after the other. So now let's say, let's click on the extract candidate conditions. So if I just click on this one, here we can see the total. So basically the app detects the candidate concepts and adds a context labels. So it identifies the patient problems like type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and it detects the negation such as no chest pain. So which, where we can see at the bottom. So based on the clinical notes like diabetes, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and no chest pain, so, and also the medical review completed, you can see it has added it has extracted the test, and it extracts the concepts, and then we can see the context as well, which is present and which is negated. So in our case, chest pain is negated, and the other one, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and medication are present. So basically the advantage of this particular step is like, this reduces a very good amount of manual review effort, but keeps the staff, the clinical staff in control of, like, which concepts to consider or which concept to extract from the clinical notes. So there's a less possibility of human error, or it saves time as well as in manual effort. And also one thing to keenly observe is like, you can see the group overlay or overlay group. So we got the diabetes and diabetes too. So it also gives a clear indication that there are some overlapping concepts which needs to be considered. So now if I just go at the bottom, here we can see right here we can see, so this is negated and these 4 are selected, and if you get at the bottom of the, you can see the SNOMED review preparation, right? And then only the 4 are considered in here, and ready for search is like 2, and needs specific specificities is 1, low confidence is 1. So what we can do is, if I just click on generate FHIR condition previews here, what happens is it generates the another section where we can approve, where the clinical staff can approve or make, they can tag it as need changes or they can reject it. For examples, in our case the diabetes, right, we can say like need changes. So right, it labels as need changes. And for example, let's say type 2 diabetes, approve for coding, let's approve for coding, the label changes to, or the tag changes to approve for coding. And hypertension, let's do approve for coding, and medical review, let's reject it. So if you click on reject it, it says the it assigns a rejected label or a tag for it. And also for example, if you want to see the JSON of this one, I can click on this one. You can see that it's a resource type is condition, and it's a type 2 diabetes, which is a concept in here, and there are some other details as well, like the display name, which is a patient name, and you can see approve for coding. So all of the details related to the FHIR concept map. So yeah, so and again, so basically this, so this particular section demonstrate a path from unstructured clinical node to a structured FHIR resource, and also with the safety gates, with the safety gates in place before we persist the data. So yeah, and then what we can do is from here, so we have approved 2 candidates, which is type 2 diabetes and hypertension. If you look at in here, we got yeah, so if you look at hypertension is what we approved, and type 2 diabetes is what we approved. So they comes in here, they are in a queue for approved for coding queue. So now what we need to do is, if we just send it, if we just click on this one, send approved items to SNOMED coding queue, so this particular section appears. If you look at it, like we got the coding status, awaiting SNOMED search, again awaiting SNOMED search. You got different options in here. So what we can do is, if you look at if you observe in here, we got a open terminology search as well. For example, if I type for diabetes 2, like, and then if I open up this particular terminology thing, now remember, like initially I've just shown you the search, so it shows like diabetes mellitus type 2, and if I just click on search, it says the authentication required, and then if you it says like no fake SNOMED results are shown, and if I click on show technical details, it says 401, which means like we need authentication is required. As I just mentioned before, I'm still waiting for the credentials, so that's why we are still seeing authentication is required. So if at all we have the credentials, and then if you have connected to the live server, so we automatically we get the concept map for this particular one. And yeah, so if I just go back to the patient again section, if you look at the final section of clinical sign off, here what we can do is, like you can see type 2 diabetes and hypertension, you got an option to sign off or needs review. For example, let's say we will sign this off, both sign off and then sign off, right? And then if we just go back to the one second, let me see the approved. Yeah, so these save approved conditions and create FHIR conditions are deliberately disabled because until we have the live SNOMED coding, terminology validations are not implemented, so I've deliberately disabled this one. So So now if I click on for example, let's say even, okay, so if I just go back to the after signing off, the next step what we can do is we can just go back to the workflow summary to look at the workflow summary. So this workflow summary is a dashboard which shows where the patient is in where the patient is in, like, in the overall workflow. Here we can see the FHIR data loaded, like we got 25 loaded conditions, we have 36 observations and 5 medications loaded. As we just mentioned, the terminology authentication is still pending. NLP extractions, we had like 5 extractions as we checked previously, which is like diabetes, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and the other one is the medication risk. And then the candidate review, we can see the included are like 4, need review are 4, approved for coding is 2, so we have approved type 2 diabetes and then hypertension, so that was approved. And then SNOMED coding is still in pending, SNOMED validation is pending, and final clinical sign off is done. And ready for file save? No, because we don't have the credentials here, so I've just disabled that particular option to save the SNOMED coding validations until we get the credentials. Here we can see the complete workflow and the timeline, like what happened in each step. Like we have the file loaded, file data loaded. We did the NLP extraction, the clinical or the free text code we have used. Candidate context review, we have done it. You can see the specificity review. I think for some reason it's still loading up. And then conditions preview generated, we saw that. Clinician approval, we did the clinician approval, and SNOMED coding handoff. So the other one pending is like SNOMED coding, SNOMED validation. We have done the final sign off as well for those two concepts, and we got ready for FHIR save, which is disabled at the moment. So we can see the blocked for these options. So yeah, so this is the app. So in summary, this application demonstrate the FHIR native workflow for turning unstructured clinical notes into a structured, reviewed, and terminology ready condition records. The business value is like it just gives it just reduces the manual review effort, gives the better data quality, and also there are safer AI assisted workflows, and it improves the interoperability and for data analysis and reporting, and also the downstream care coordination as well. So in this current state, the application already uses a real FHIR patient data, which we are getting from the medblocks, and also includes secure terminology integration pattern as well, which I showed you in the the terminology search and the configuration. Because of the terminology credentials were not available for me right now before this deadline, so I choose not to fake the results. So instead, this application demonstrates the correct enterprise pattern. So once the NHS system-to-system credentials are available, the live SNOMED search, the validation and mapping can be enabled without changing any of the user workflow. I hope this is clear and understandable. Yeah, thank you for your time.